everybody, Echo V here, and we all love receiving gifts, right? As gamers, one of our most wanted gifts are video games, and wouldn't it be great to get Red Dead Redemption 2 Collector's Edition that has everything except Red Dead 2? Because are you really a super fan if you actually own the game? The Collector's Edition, because what better way to tell the world that you not only have way too much money to spare, but also the fact that you hate sex. With every new big name game, there's sure to be a Collector's Edition that'll follow soon, with the hopes of enticing any unsuspecting players with items that they can only get with said edition. Until they decide to check out eBay, that is. Video games is a whole hobby in itself, and collecting the games is part of the experience. But there is such a thing as taking it too far. Now I get that these collector's editions are strictly for hardcore fans, but when they come with weird additions, you really have to wonder about the sanity of not just the buyer, but also the company themselves. Yes, this green stuff is good, but so is this green stuff. Of course, I'm no stranger to special game editions. Heck, I've owned some of them myself. First up is the Essential Collection by 2K, which had XCOM and both the first Borderlands and Bioshock. Aside from XCOM, I didn't really enjoy this collection. FPSs just aren't for me. Next up is the Mass Effect Trilogy, and while much better than the 2K Essential Collection, I never really finished this trilogy because around this time I was going through a rough patch and barely played any games. But by the time I got better and finally decided to finish the trilogy, my PlayStation 3 broke down, so I only managed to get halfway through Mass Effect 2. Third is Kid Icarus Uprising, a game that I not only enjoyed and finished, but it's also the most useful edition by far, mostly because of the 3DS stand, which I still continue to use for this day for my Switch. And it also came with that AR cards for that weird AR 3DS gimmick, you know, whatever. Moving on! Okay. I know the last three weren't collector's editions, but we're getting there. But first, let's talk about the Final Fantasy 15 Day 1 edition. Even though I bought my copy in 2017 because that was when I finally got a PS4. Anyway! Its only bonus content, unfortunately, was a code for the Masamune. And while the Masamune is an icon in the series thanks to the Sephiroth man, damn. In this game, however, it sucks. I only used it maybe once or twice before I let run my inventory forever. Ah, dang it. We're not done with Final Fantasy yet because next up is Dissidia NT, which was my first Steelbook edition. And while this game wasn't really that good, what's unique about the Steelbook for this game was that it was randomized between three designs. Thankfully, I got lucky with my copy because I just love this design more. And honestly, with how Dissidia did it, I wish more Steelbook editions were like this, but we'll talk more about that later. Oh, and right, the game also came with a code for Opera Omnia, which I didn't care for, so I just gave it to a friend of mine. And for the last special edition I own, we have Stardew Valley, the best one that I purchased so far, because not only was it fairly priced, heck, I even paid less, honestly, it was also simplified with nothing too fancy, which I definitely appreciate. Sometimes, less is more. All this edition came with was a beautifully done map of Pelican Town, a guidebook that's also beautifully well done, and the game's soundtrack. I can go on for a minute on how much I love this special edition, but I have other things to talk about, so let's move on with that. I've mentioned this already, but one of my first exposure to special editions in video games were the form of steelbooks. From my research, the first video game steelbook was apparently the original Killzone from PS2. While a lot of people say it's Halo, I just couldn't find any proof, so Killzone it is then. In my opinion, most of the time, steelbooks are worth it because you get access to some really good art that you otherwise wouldn't get, which is good because most steelbook art is way better than the official box art. Until it's not. Yeah, as much as I love Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, its exclusive steelbook art is really bad compared to the official art. I am sorry, but this art just doesn't scream everyone is here. It's honestly why, as simple as Dissidia NT steelbook cover is, it represents the game way better than the official box art does. I mean, both heroes and villains represented in the box art cover, that's really how you should do it. One of the selling features of a collector's edition is that players get access to exclusive items that will probably never go into retail sale. Or if it was, it might go for a higher price. Usually, these are statues, which makes sense. And then you have absolute garbage, such as drinking containers, which was the case for Call of Duty World at War and the Japanese edition for Final Fantasy XIV, with the former having a sealed off canteen that can never be used, and the latter coming with a hydrophobic cup. Wait, I thought it was important for us to keep ourselves hydrated. Why do these collector's editions come with unusable water containers? Another horrible bonus came with the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Collector's Edition, which, while coming with additional statues and exclusive packaging, it also came with light-up Infinity Stones. Yeah, they're advertised to look like this, but really, they look more like this. Yep, reality is often disappointing. Lastly, while not necessarily useless, I just think the gold Mega Man amiibo for the Mega Man Legacy Collector's Edition was pretty dumb. First off, I hate these single color stuff. I like color my products, thank you very much. Anyway, not only does exclusive amiibo come in a monochrome color scheme, it also came in a black packaging. Another way of robbing it of any color or personality. It also has no exclusive function, functioning the same as a regular Smash Bros. Mega Man amiibo. It's not even a unique pose, I mean, come on. What about this pose? This works. So we've discussed about terrible bonuses that aren't worth the price, so there's no way for it to get any worse, right? Wrong! There is a way for it to get worse, and it's by far the worst one yet. And that's not even including the game at all. It's already bad enough that you're shelling so much money just to get a special collector's edition, but it's even worse that you spend much more money just to get the game itself. While Red Dead Redemption 2 is the most notable case for this, but other games such as Mass Effect Andromeda and Wolfenstein have also done this themselves. Lately, Sony has been the most guilty of this, where their special editions for Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok are only including a download code to get the game online rather than a physical disc. I know a lot of people prefer digital games. I am not one of them. Unless I have no choice in the matter, I prefer getting physical copies of my games. Call me old school if you must, but there's just this satisfying feeling I get when I can hold a physical copy of a game I like to play so much. Perhaps the biggest slap is that these editions still come with a steelbook, which heavily implies that these companies expect you to buy the physical game separately anyway. It's ridiculous. No one's gonna buy a car only to be forced to buy the steering wheel separately. It's just dumb and bad practice. For most of this video, I've been talking about the bad stuffs in collector's editions, so what about the crazy stuff? As the years go by, what a video game companies more than willing to shove their collector's edition just gets wackier and wackier. One such example is Creator's Victor Edition, which costs $10,000, where the game developer himself is more than willing to visit you and cook a meal and play the game with you. While I appreciate game developers for what they've done, maybe a mention of social media would be much better instead, and I can just go to McDonald's. Another such example is clothing. No, I'm not talking about clothing worn by the game's characters, such as Leon's leather jacket in the Resident Evil 6 version. I'm talking about outfits worn by the game's booth girls when they're presented in Game Awards. Sounds ridiculous? Well, that's what 1996's Enemy Zero Collector's Edition did, which seemed to be just a bodysuit and a pair of gloves. Yeah. Can I just get the t-shirt instead, please? Thank you. One of the things that Collector's Edition gets right is that most of their stuff relates to the game, but there is such a thing as overkill. And 2013's Grid 2 proves that, because their nearly $200,000 Collector's Edition came with a car. No, not a Hot Wheels car, an actual vehicle that you can actually sit on and drive. Heck, you can even have it customized to your liking. So it's the SOT that counts, I guess? Lastly, we all know that collector's editions can be a bit pricey, but at least they'll never charge $1 million, right? Well, Saints Row 4 thought was a good idea with their Super Dangerous Wad Wub Edition, which includes but not limited to a copy of the game because it better have it. a space flight, a full-size replica gun, a hostage rescue spears, spy training day, classic survey, a personal shopper, capsule wardrobe, 7 nights in Dubai, a week for 2 in Washington DC, personal flights in Washington DC and Dubai, a Lamborghini, a Toyota Prius plus insurance, and a year supercar membership. Wait, where's the console? Well, forget that then! And that's it for this video. Any collector's editions that you've experienced or owned, then comment them below. I decided to make this video after doing my pre-order one because it just felt fitting. I'm not gonna wait for Christmas, by the way. No way, buddies. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. If it's your birthday today, then happy birthday. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone, be good to each other.